What's good, Toronto Raptor fans? We got a banger today. This is going to be a good episode. And it's not going to be a super long episode because, as some of y'all know, I run the Pendance Film Festival, and that starts tonight at 7 o'clock. But the Toronto Raptors got smoked last night, and I, for one, did not do a post game live. I appreciate y'all who joined us on Twitter Spaces. Definitely got to talk. Is the special guest Swiper? Keep guessing. It's not Swiper. It's not Blake or awful coaching. Nope. All right, cool. It's gonna be somebody else. It's gonna be a great episode. We got to talk about the Toronto Raptors, man. The Raptors got smoked. This was not a fun game to watch. I got to tell you, I watched it with one eye open because tanking is not fun. It's not a fun. It's not a fun. Losing is not fun. Losing is not fun. Tanking is not fun. And honestly, watching Jamal Shed last night, one of my favorite players, really, y'all know I love Jamal Shed. That was not fun. That might have been the worst game that any player has played for the Raptors pretty much all season. That was bad. Now, let's talk about this game real brief. We're going to bring the guest on in about 5 minutes. So, B-Mac, I appreciate y'all rolling out the Rolodex of all the cool people I know, but you're not going to guess this. Okay. So the Toronto Raptors do get smoked. And I do want to say Jamal Shed posted a negative 25 box plus minus single game. That was nuts with 7 turnovers. It was rough for him, but one player who did manage to contribute well was Jonathan Mobo. So it was like one rookie struggles, another rookie does well, but the Toronto Raptors overall did not do well. Okay, they were never in this game. They were never close. You look at the team stats. A night after shooting 15% from three, how do you shoot 22% from three? I don't know AAU teams that shoot 22% from three. This is nuts. The Raptors got beat. And this is not a great defensive team, but it is a surging team. It is a team that's clicking, playing well. The Raptors did have Jakob Poeltl, and I can't believe I've gone 4 minutes without mentioning Scotty Barnes did not play. Is Scotty Barnes going to be out for a while? I don't know. But if he got Scotty on the show, you think Scotty's no. Y'all keep guessing. Okay. So overall, my takeaways from this game, honestly, Scotty's a huge part of what the Raptors do defensively, offensively. We spent a good deal of time getting real frustrated yesterday talking about, how good is a versatile defender? What is the purpose of, looking at this from that perspective? When you look at a player who does so many things for you, so many things so well for you, how do you replace that? And, you've been competitive for a lot of the games with Scotty, I would say. There've been a couple of embarrassing losses. Certainly, there have been, that OKC game that I attended was terrible. But overall, I think the Raptors have been trending up in a positive direction. And you got to really see the vision. You got to see the vision of, what could be for the Toronto Raptors going forward with this team, with Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram healthy. That would be great, right? No. He's a good hooper though. I'll tell you that. That's my clue to y'all. He's a really good hooper. Okay, but overall, my takeaways from this game are continue on losing, and set everything up for next year. I referenced the DeMarcus Cousins reel where he talked about the disastrous effects on team morale and young players when you just keep losing. I feel like when the Toronto Raptors traded for Brandon Ingram, they sent a nice little message to the entire league. We are serious. We want to be good next year. Okay. So this is 22, 23 more games of pain. You roll the dice and then you cross your fingers and you hope for Cooper Flag. Okay. From an execution standpoint, I believe the Raptors defense was very compromised yesterday. Saw some good flashes from Jamal Shed, but he really struggled from the field. Sorry, from Jacoby Walter. Jamal has been very turnover prone pretty much the entire year, but I think it's the ebbs and flows, right? One of the best college players in the last, 3 years for the Houston Cougars. And I just feel like Jamal is one of those players that is just going to get better. Like he's going to age like wine, in the NBA. He's a super competitor. And there's so many players that I look at that wouldn't be playing as hard as that dude does for a 18 win team, 18-41. Let that record simmer and then look at that roster and try to make sense of it. Anyways, I've ranted on enough. I don't got a lot of time, but I'm going to appreciate, we're going to bring Gabe on.
Yo,
what's good, Gabe?
what's up, Robert?
I'm good. Okay.
Hey, I feel for you guys, man. Being a longtime Timberwolves fan, I remember these seasons, these type of seasons. I feel you.
Absolutely, because Timberwolves, that is a troubled history for sure. Because you had Kevin Garnett for a very long
Yep.
period of time and couldn't quite build a contender around that type of player. Had to watch him go to Boston, win a championship.
That hurt. That hurt.
Absolutely. So to those people who don't know who Gabe is, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of an introduction.
You're telling this story. I mean, Minnesota.
Minnesota is a basketball state.
Minnesota is a basketball state.
Minnesota is a basketball state.
And we're gonna change the narrative here. Something way bigger than basketball. I'm about to change this neighborhood, this community forever.
Okay, so let's talk about this, because I've been talking about Basketball State on this channel, cross-promoting Pendance and Pensare Basketball for what feels like a month and a half. And I got to tell you a secret. I actually saw the trailer of Basketball State before you submitted.
Really?
Yes, I did.
On Twitter?
I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it and I'm like, that looks amazing. That looks so cool. I hope, and I put it in my memory bank and I'm like, maybe I should reach out to him, maybe submit to Pendance. That'd be kind of cool. And I never reached out to you. I never said anything. And then one day, my one of our programmers said, "You never believe it. We got a basketball documentary. You're gonna be so happy."
Let's go.
And I was just like, it's probably gonna be like about little tykes, and it's gonna be. And I look at this headline, I'm like, I was so happy. When you meet my girlfriend, you definitely ask her how happy I was when you submitted.
Let's go.
I was so excited. Your trailer is dope. You got Tyus Jones. So my number one thing is Minnesota basketball. You noticed the We the North campaign in Toronto.
Yeah.
I feel like that could just extend to like Minnesota and Cleveland too.
Yeah.
So talk to me about why you made this film.
Yeah, so well, first of all, I appreciate all the support in pushing this project. This is a really personal project to me. I was born and raised in Minnesota, and as the trailer says, my first love was basketball. I fell in love with it from very, very early on. My dad was a hooper, and growing up pretty quickly, I realized we have a ton of talent in Minnesota. I grew up playing against guys like Trey Jones, Amir Coffey, and actual Toronto Raptor bucket getter Gary Trent Jr. Gary used to give us buckets, man. He was one of the toughest players coming out of our state. We're in the same class, so I always realized basketball was big in Minnesota. But my true passion, my true calling was filmmaking, storytelling. So I was like, I got to go to LA. That's where you make your filmmaking dreams happen. So I moved out to LA and I just pursued that passion of filmmaking. And when I was out there, when I would tell people I'm from Minnesota, they'd be like, what? Isn't it just freezing cold out there? Don't they just play hockey? And I'd be like, no, we actually have hoopers. We have a long list of hoopers. And I would start to tell them the names, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Suggs, Paige Beckers, potentially the GOAT of female basketball. And then Taylor Hill and Lindsay Whalen paved the way for her. So you go way back to even Kevin McHale, who won many championships with the Celtics, Hall of Famer. So I realized this was a story that had to be told. So I put my life on pause in LA, went back to Minnesota with my girlfriend, and just started locking in on this project and telling this story. And we're 3 years deep, and I'm still wrapping up the last few episodes because this is actually a documentary series. But the first pretty much complete, and that's what's going to be playing at the festival this weekend. So I'm super excited.
That's dope. So talk to me a little bit about you as a hooper, because you saying
Yeah.
Gary Trent giving you buckets. How tall are you? I'm gonna guess 6'5".
Yeah, you right on the nail. I'm 6'5", maybe 6'4" without shoes on. I haven't been to the doctor in a while, but yeah, I'm 6'5". I can shoot the ball from the outside. I got some decent handles, and I just love to hoop, man. I love to compete, and even to this day, I'm in every men's league I can possibly be in LA. So I love it.
That's amazing. No, I huge fan of Paige Beckers, huge fan
Hmm.
of Chet Holmgren, huge fan of Jalen Suggs. Now, even though I was hating on him a little bit in the draft, I didn't want us to draft him.
Yep,
I wanted us to draft Scotty Barnes very much. But Scotty and Jalen are
it
boys.
worked out.
It worked
Yeah,
out really well. It worked out well for both teams, honestly. I think the
yeah,
Magic are really happy with their pick as well. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I see a lot of states in the United States that aren't really thought of as basketball states. And
yeah.
the two that come to mind that should be are Minnesota and Florida. Florida
Mm,
is crazy for hoopers. Minnesota
yeah,
is crazy for hoopers too. But people don't think about that. They think about New York, LA, Seattle a little bit,
yeah.
but they don't really give Minnesota so talk to me about like why is basketball such a big deal in Minnesota? Because I come from a country where basketball is a really big deal. I come from Serbia.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. It's huge out there. I think well, first of all, it's freezing cold in the winter, so I think naturally, if you're not playing hockey, which a lot of kids aren't, then you want to be in the gym. And that just kind of fosters this like grit and this hard work mentality of wanting to be in the gym in those cold winter months. And then in the summer, it's beautiful in Minnesota, and people still love to hoop outside, hoop inside. And then I think just like the coaching and the training that we've had in our state has been really top notch for a long time. And a lot of players that make it far, like Tyus Jones, he's back in Minnesota in the summer, working out with younger guys, playing in the pro am. So I think there's just this culture of basketball that's slowly been built more and more. And the more people that make it far, the more young hoopers in Minnesota are inspired. And I'm biased to Minnesota. Like I believe Minnesota's a basketball state, but like you said, there's other pockets of the country where there's incredible hoopers coming out. So I want this documentary to inspire those places as well. Like, let's tell our story, because basketball is a global sport now. There's hoopers everywhere.
Absolutely. And Toronto is one of those rising powers in basketball as well. We see, players coming from the GTA like Shea, and we're all
Yeah.
very proud. But I think like when people think about it, the Raptors president Masai Ujiri, he talks a lot about the impact of examples, right? Examples like Dikembe Mutombo, examples like Hakeem Olajuwon paved the way for examples of other African prospects. So I feel like the more people from Minnesota, people from Toronto, they see players from our city go on to the main stage, we feel that pride, we feel that
Yeah.
example, and we're like, I could do it too. And then I feel like when you could do it, you try like 10% more. That
Yeah.
belief is so important, because I used to hoop against this dude who was like 4 years older than me, and he used to kick my ass. But I was like, he's good. He was dropping like
Yeah.
32 points per game back in the day. And then when I saw that he didn't get any D1 offers, I gotta tell you, I just stopped. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, if he didn't get any D1 offers at my height, I ain't getting D1 offers. So
Nah.
that like belief element of it, it's like there's a book called The Talent Code. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a great book. So that book
Yeah.
is just talking about like how one person doing something makes it more possible for someone else to do it that identifies with that person. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
So how'd you get all the NBA players to be in your documentary? That was really cool.
So I think the Minnesota basketball community is super tight knit. So I grew up playing against Trey Jones, which is Tyus Jones' younger brother that's also in the league. He plays for the Bulls now. But I grew up playing against him, so I kind of had like a slight connection to their family. So I was able to get the Jones family involved. The Hill family, who's a huge part of this first episode that people are going to see, their cousin was my point guard in high school. So he connected me to them. And PJ Hill, who went to Ohio State, he's in the documentary. He was my trainer growing up. So there's all these just through lines and like even since I was this project is still constantly evolving and growing, and like every hooper in Minnesota is like one person away from every other hooper. So for example, while I was in Toronto, I was going to try to get in an interview with Jamison Battle. So I know I used to play with someone that played with him on the Gophers, so they gave me his number. I was texting Jamison a couple of days ago. They're on the road trip this weekend, so we couldn't
I know. I
couldn't
could.
work it out. But yeah, it's just a tight knit community, and I think when people see that you're doing something that's for the community, and just to keep pushing Minnesota basketball forward, they want to be a part of it. So there's still a couple big names that I need to lock in interviews with, but I'm confident that the momentum of the project will get me there. So
Man, I'm a huge Paige Beckers fan, and I'm a
oh, I think she's
big
gonna be the next Diana Taurasi. I think she's gonna be one of those iconic players, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what she does.
I mean, you're not kidding. Her, Jalen, and Chet were like so tight growing up.
Yeah.
So it's like it is really a tight knit community over there. Talk directly to the people who might be considering venturing out in the snowy Toronto winter to come check out your film on Sunday afternoon at 12 o'clock. Why do you think people need to watch this film?
Yeah, I think this film isn't just for basketball lovers. Obviously, if you're a basketball lover, you definitely should come through. You'll be inspired. You'll continue to love the game. But there's so many other themes and plots in this story of brotherhood, of sisterhood, of friendship, of dedication, and really just showing like how close knit family and how important family is when it comes to basketball, and just a lot of history that I think people will be interested in. There's little guest moments, like Prince is in the documentary. Minnesota legend Prince. A lot of people don't know he used to be a baller, and so if you're a Prince fan, you'll have a little something in there to enjoy. Really, I think I just want this documentary to inspire people to want to tell the story of where they're from. So if you have love for where you're from and you're passionate about something, I feel like you'll enjoy this project. So come on down to Pendance.
Love it. Okay. I'm gonna talk to you later. I'm gonna see you this weekend. We're gonna lock in.
Yes, sir.
We're not gonna play hoops because I'm very, very rusty right now. But if I had known, a year in advance, I would have started training. I'm 37, man. But I was a shooter. I could shoot.
Okay. I believe it. Hey, Pendance 2026. Let's go.
Let's go. Next episode of this. Bring it on. All right, Gabe, I'm gonna see you this weekend. Peace.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you, man.
My pleasure. Okay. Lovely dude. Great spirit that he's carrying out. We love storytellers. Pendance, story over everything. You see my hoodie? Story over everything. That's what it is. That's all this is. Story over everything means, I believe, that stories change our lives. The story that you told yourself when you were a kid made you who you are today. The story that your parents told you about who you are made your life what it is. And storytellers are important. When people talk about NBA league ratings going downhill, what are they talking about? Really, we're talking about the stories. It's the stories that are going downhill. So celebrate storytellers. Come out to check out Basketball State at Pendance. It's my last plug. I promise. I'm not doing any more lives this weekend. This is the last you're going to hear from me this weekend, most likely. But definitely go check it out. Come meet Gabe. Take a picture with Gabe. I think this guy is going to be somebody that you're going to be happy that you met now. Because I'm telling you, this is a special talent of mine. Okay. I may not be the most exceptionally gifted at anything in my life, but there's one thing that I am exceptionally good at. Okay. It's one thing. It's literally one thing. God gave me one gift, and that is spotting talent. Okay. I know when I could tell you for sure, like when I was 15, I could see a hooper and be like, yeah, that guy's going to make it. That guy's not going to make it. When I was 26, we brought on a 17-year-old onto our film set as a PA. And I'm like, this guy, he's going to be a big deal. That dude, Ethan Eng, became the youngest director ever selected to the Slam Dance Features competition and won the Agbo Prize. Like, I have a good eye for talent. It's literally a gift. I'm telling you, this dude is going to be making work for a long time because what drives him is what drives all great storytellers. They got a real story to tell. His dad put a camera in his hand in grade 3, and he's been chasing this ever since. So if you want to come out and support Pendance, you want to support Basketball State, you got ticket link in the bio. And we got, because, and by the way, this is you guys. Someone sent through a $200 e-transfer yesterday and said, open up 8 tickets. Open up 8 tickets for, sorry, what did he say, 8 tickets? He said 8 tickets to Basketball State. So that's what we did. So a big shout out to Jamal for sending through a $200 e-transfer. We have opened up 8 more tickets to Basketball State on Sunday. You get to meet Vince. You get to meet me. What are you waiting for? I feel like, I feel like that Centennial ad. Like, why are you making it so complicated? It's easy. We got a caller coming in here. Brooke, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's
I
good?
think, listen, I know we kind of like we this was like one of the first conversations we ever got into was the Cade Cunningham debate. I think it's fair that now looking back at it, I was right, and I think you can admit that you're wrong because I think if my memory is correct, that you said that Cade Cunningham was a fifth man option on a championship team, and he's
Fifth?
fifth man, like he's a fifth starter,
I
or
never said that.
and you said he's best fitted as a sixth man. You never said
I
that.
said 6th man. I didn't say 5th man. Don't put words in my mouth, bro.
Okay, my fault. But I said that he was better, to me, in my opinion, if he was playing for those teams, was Jalen Williams, Alperen Şengün. Well, who else I said? Like Franz Wagner. I think right now I would have him over Paulo Banchero. I think like if we're ranking players under the age of 24, I think it's Victor. I think it's Ant. Honestly, I think that's even a debate. I think Cade's status, he's elevated himself to a point where I think you maybe, I hopefully you can admit that you were wrong about it. Maybe you,
Nope.
what?
Ain't fucking happening.
Come on, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you watch him play this season. Or did you watch him play this season?
No, I'm an idiot. I'm a casual. I don't watch Cade Cunningham play basketball.
Bro,
You the only one watching Cade Cunningham play basketball with your dumbass eyes.
listen, he's leading a mediocre team, mediocre roster to the 4th, 5th seed in the
Okay.
Eastern Conference with a
Okay.
mediocre roster around him.
Bro, move to Detroit. Houses are cheap. You can follow him for free. You can get into the games for $12. Just go, man. Do us all a favor. Just move to Detroit, bro.
It's not even about that, bro. It's just that admitting that Cade.
You a Raptor fan?
I'm a Raptors fan, bro. You know
So
me.
what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Is this your victory lap moment? You feel good? You're like, oh my God, Cade's in a hot streak. You know how stupid you're gonna look next year? Let me tell you something. If last year if I had done this, be like, oh, Scotty's 8 times better than Cade. You know what I mean? If you really believe Cade was great on a bad team, you would think I was an idiot. Well, that's how I feel about you right now, right?
No,
I'm not like
listen. Okay, picture this. When we think about Scotty's potential, what do we view him?
This episode ain't for you, bro. I know people like you. I've known people like you in my life. You see an opportunity to call in. You don't understand the context of this episode ain't fucking Cade Cunningham, bro. And this ain't you. The context of this episode is we got a festival to run in 3 hours. Have a little bit of empathy for that. We just had a guest come on. You don't want to talk about that. What you want to do is talk about Cade on a Raptors podcast.
Because he came off a great win last night against.
Why does it fucking matter? You know how many great players there are in the NBA? Why aren't you talking about them? You want to talk about Cade? Why?
Because I think he's playing great basketball this season.
He's not playing great basketball.
He's gonna make second team All NBA.
Bro, when he does, send him a bouquet of flowers and a fucking dick pic. I don't care.
I thought I was gonna bring this up last live stream you had, but I thought I don't know. It was already too late, so I was like, okay, let me just call him next.
Do you
time.
have any final thoughts, bro? I am so overworked right now. I don't got patience for this. I had to deal with this on the panel. Now I got to deal with this with you. I'll tell you right now. Frame this video on your wall. Put it up. Tell me if Cade is the 3rd best player under 25 in the NBA in 3 years. I have acknowledged that he is an all-star this year. I pushed on the panel that he could be all NBA based on the season he's having. I don't think he's better than Scotty Barnes. I don't. I don't think he's better than Franz. I don't. I don't think he's better than Evan Mobley. I don't. I don't think he's better than Wemby. There's probably
No,
4
he's
other
not.
players at that age that I don't agree with. You think he's better than Franz? That's you. I don't
But
care.
defensively, what makes him not better than Franz? Defensively, he's been
I'm done.
great.
Bro, I'm done. You understand? I'm done. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to talk to you. Honestly, I'm done. I'm not trying to crash out. I'm not trying to ruin my vibe today because you got a dumb take you want to get off. Start
It's
your own
not
show.
dumb take. He's had a great season.
You think he's better than Franz? That's a dumb take. To me,
That's not
crazy.
dumb take. 25, 9, and 6 on great defense and mid efficiency. That's not a
It's
bad
not
take.
great defense, you dummy. You're not watching the damn game.
You're not watching the game, but did you watch him play? Did you watch him guard
You
Kevin
think
Durant?
he's great defensively? You think he's
When
great
he's
defensively?
bought in, he's been one of the best clutch defenders this season. Watch him in crunch.
I'm good, bro.
5
I'm
minutes.
good. I'm good. You know what? After the festival, I will mail you a Cade Cunningham poster with lipstick on it. All right. Peace. Talk to you later. Don't call again. Okay. I'm done. You know what we got to do in life? We got to draw boundaries. This ain't the day to try me for this shit. Okay. This is the day to talk about good things. You want to talk about a good thing? Let me tell you what happened yesterday.
I'm really blessed to have been there now all these 30 years. My journey has been just all organic, but all blessed.
It's amazing how many you're such a part of so many iconic moments in Raptors history. If you remember Scotty Barnes, 3 dribbles, that dunk. Only player I've seen do that is Giannis and Shaq. And the first person he went to when he was celebrating was you.
Yes.
That was so great. You're part of everything. So it lines up perfectly to my first question. I promise the rest of the interview is not going to be this smooth. And the rest of that interview will be released after Pendance on Tuesday. I'm so excited. It was a great conversation, bro. The energy of that conversation was like, it was up here. I was so excited to talk to him because I've been watching him. You know, it's weird. Like sometimes when you're an immigrant, you just look at other immigrants. Sometimes you gotta look at other immigrants, and you look at someone like Nav and you see what he's done, right? Did someone bring up RJ? No, nobody brought up RJ. It was a ridiculous guest trying to bring up Cade Cunningham receipts right now. Honestly, man, I got nothing in my heart against Cade. It's cool, you know, like it's cool. I just think he's massively overrated. But if y'all want to think that he's great, maybe he'll do well in the playoffs. I was literally on the panel the other day saying like, hey, they could push the Knicks. Let it happen. I'm very happy. I'm happy with the player we have, which is Scotty Barnes. I'm perfectly happy with that. Anyways, I'll give y'all a little preview of the Pendance Film Festival. Vertical reel. That's basketball city. Well, that was a reel. And if you want to help us out, if you got an Instagram account, here's something that I have a special project for you. This will be very, very helpful to me. And also, I broke my headphones worse than they were broken before. So you'll see that they're kind of like flipping off. That's probably very awkward. I will fix them. But if you have an Instagram account, do me a favor. Go to PENSARE Basketball's last reel, which is the Pendance trailer, and share it with a cinema lover in your life. Now, overall, I'm going to miss the next 2 games. I'm going to record them and I'm going to watch them. And hopefully on Monday, after I've slept a little bit, I'll be able to break down both games. I'm not going to be doing lives over the weekend. I'm going to be at Pendance. I'm excited. I share with you. Oh, no. Okay. Everyone's saying that we're going to land Embiid because of the Masai and Embiid connection and stuff and the Africa stuff. I don't see how cap-wise that's possible. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure that I would trade RJ and IQ for Joel Embiid unless I knew 100% he was healthy. And honestly, even then, I would feel really bad about it because I don't like Joel Embiid. That's just me personally. Me not liking an African prospect, you must be the biggest asshole on earth. I just don't like him. I don't like the fact that he's a dirty player. I don't like the fact that he whines a lot. And I really don't like his injury history. I have been fully on board giving Joel Embiid, recognition for the type of player he is. I call him, basically a 7-foot shooting guard. I've likened him to Kobe Bryant. Okay. Like, this is a really good player, but and firmly fits a need for the Raptors, obviously, as a huge upgrade over Jakob Poeltl. If you could get him for Emmanuel quickly and Jakob Poeltl, you probably look at it. But bringing him onto your team, I can't get on board with the idea of rooting for a team with Joel Embiid. That's just me. But yes, Joel Embiid, a healthy Joel Embiid plus Scotty Barnes plus Brandon Ingram is one of the best big threes. It's the best big three in the NBA. So you'd be pairing 2 all-stars with an MVP and all under the age of 31. That's ridiculous. So, fit-wise might be weird, but yes, I don't know. I completely agree. He's not the right fit. The Nav interview will come out on Tuesday. I've notified him and his team that it'll come out on Tuesday. Very excited. We discussed a ton of stuff. We discussed food. We discussed, his journey as an immigrant. We discussed his thoughts on the current Raptors. We discussed, his favorite moments from Raptors history. So it's a really fun episode. I showed a little bit of it to my girlfriend and she said, you can tell you're both happy. And I was just like, yeah, that's what I was going for. So that is a very, very important thing. Now, Pendance starts in 4 hours. I got to run. Are there any questions about yesterday's game? Because I don't want to mislead y'all, and I don't feel like we gave enough attention to yesterday's game other than Scotty B.I. didn't play. Yak looked rusty as hell, if I'm being honest. Grady's cold shooting continues. I feel like he's in a sophomore slump because certainly earlier in the year, I felt like it was a lot better for Grady. But overall, yes. Dylan Shoot saying, thanks for the detailed content despite a tough season for the Raptors. We are going to get a lot more detailed. I appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat. We're going to get a lot more detailed once Pendance simmers down. Yeah, so we're running all through the weekend. Thursday tonight, tomorrow night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday at the Carlton Cinema. And then Monday, I relax and breathe a little bit, watch the games. Probably Monday night or Tuesday, you're going to get a live from me. And hopefully I'll be able to tell you that the event was a huge success. So far, it looks great. Okay, tickets are going well. Passes are going pretty well. I just want to make sure that every director who came, from Jeff Garner to Gabe to all of them, get that full screening. So definitely consider checking it out. Also, I will say, if tonight you are close to, college and young, if you want to go check out a couple of great films, definitely come out tonight. There's a code called ELECTIONNIGHTGIFT. It gets you free tickets for tonight's game because sales were great for Friday, great for Saturday, really good for Sunday, strong for Sunday, but tonight's sales were not the greatest. So I wanted to give 10 tickets to the community. Thank you so much for your support. And Eddie the Moosh saying, good luck, Rob. You deserve this. Appreciate you, man. Nav, who? Is it the oil guy? Oil guy? He's a car guy. He's a car guy. He's a car dealership guy. But he's also the Raptors super fan. He's also given out thousands and thousands of tickets to, underprivileged kids. He's a huge ambassador for the game. And the players love him, man. That's when you know what I mean? When Scotty fucks with you, Vince fucks with you, all my favorite players really fuck with you. That's when you know, because they've been around this dude, right? That's when I knew. I'm like, oh, this must be a really, really good dude. And he was so nice afterwards. He was like, hey, next time you're at the game, come down, sit courtside with me. I was like, yo, that's amazing. He, for some reason, thought I was in Montreal, but he's like, hey, you're in Toronto next time. You come down to the game, you sit with me, you talk to my security. He was great. Like when the cameras were on, he was really nice. When the cameras were off, he was super, super nice. So really appreciate Nav for doing that. I really appreciate Sophie and everyone who hooked that up. But yes. Anyways, I'm off to Pendance. The players love Drake. That is different. That is different. That is for a completely different reason. Okay. And I don't know if all the players love Drake. I suspect there's a couple of Kendrick fans on this team. I don't know if all the players love Drake. But yes, it would have been so cool. Like I was kicking myself when I realized that Jameson Battle could have come to this screening. When I realized, shit, they're on the road while Pendance is happening, and if we had scheduled basketball, if we had, I feel like they're already in Orlando right now. I feel like the Raptors traveled to Orlando today, but yeah, maybe next year we think about this a little bit better. Imagine that, like 4 or 5 Raptors at Pendance. That would have been so cool, right? Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for, forgiving me for missing a live yesterday. Thank you for tuning in midday to this completely random live. And thanks for supporting the Raptors. I feel like, people get very, very bearish on this team, like very bearish on this team because, there's this equation of, well, it's an 18-41 team, and I feel the way I feel about Emmanuel Quickly, and I feel the way I feel about RJ and Scotty and Yak. So if I thought they were a 32-win team at this time or 30-win team at this time, and now they're an 18-win team, then maybe I have to adjust my expectations or adjust my evaluation of those players by less. Winning changes the narrative in the NBA so much. And I feel like when this team starts to win, I feel like Scotty and hopefully Emmanuel Quickly can figure it out as well, because his decision-making has been really weird and his defense hasn't been great. But I feel like all these players will get a lot more credit around the NBA for what they're actually doing, what they're capable of when they start winning. And, Candace Parker was talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the face of the league. But somebody yesterday was talking about, I don't know who was talking about it, but Jacoby Walter, and saying, like, I think he's going to be great. I don't know if it was during the broadcast, if it was Savannah Hamilton or somebody, but I feel like somebody was just talking about how Jacoby is just going to be so great because he's gonna get in the gym, and I assure you that is true. Like, I suspect that is very true. That Jacoby Walter is probably going to be the most improved Raptor next year. Like, I feel like he's going to take this really big jump, and you're not going to know what hit you, and you're going to be like, holy shit, someone's expendable. This dude needs to start. Like, I feel like it could happen in a year and a half for him. And the Pete Davidson interview talking about Drake is very eye-opening, to be honest. I got to check that out on Monday, man. I don't got time for that. But and also somebody emailed me. I don't know if you listened to this, but somebody emailed me and talked to me, like wrote me like 6 paragraphs about what they talked about, like sleep and the importance of health. And they were talking, I was like, wow, like, I'm so touched. Like, I want to read this, but I don't got time to read this right now, but I'm so touched. I bookmarked that email. This community really is amazing. And one thing I noticed with Nav, talking to him yesterday, is how humble and how extremely gracious he is. Like, he's consistently like saying, I'm so blessed, I'm so thankful, I'm so this, I'm so that, I'm so happy about Isaiah Thomas and Vince Carter, and he has stories about them. And I was just like, that is the secret to success, isn't it? It's just to always remind yourself that you're just a drop in the ocean among millions and billions of people in this world. And you should be thankful when someone takes the time to write you a 6-paragraph email about how to fix your house. That's really amazing. So thank you so much to you. And thank you so much to everyone in this community. I hope that you will share that Pendance reel with a cinema lover in your life. Come on, man. Everyone watches movies. Come out to the cinema. It's cold outside, but it's really warm inside. Talk to y'all later. Have a great one.